Action.
We're all together again, we're here, we're all together again, we're here, and who knows when we'll be all together again, singing all together again, we're here. Happy Monday! Let's start with our message and then we're going to go right into weekend news. March 30th, 2020. Dear friends, today is Monday. It is a cloudy day. Love, Mrs. Jones. Did you use your snap word power? Did you use your picture power? Nicely done. The temperature today is 34 degrees. I'm going to move that over to our Monday temperature to start our week. Well, it's weekend news. So I'm going to go ahead and erase this. I'm going to move up my weekend news. One thing that I've been thinking a lot about is how in the classroom we have our bins that have our fit books in them, and I really miss having fit books. And I thought, today might be a perfect day to use our weekend news to make our own fit books. So I've already started my weekend news, and I'm going to show it to you. My weekend news is a pattern book. I know in our fit bins we have many pattern books that we enjoy reading. So I thought we could use our weekend news today and we could turn it into our own pattern book and have our own fit book ready to go. I've begun mine about my weekend news and I have several pages ready. My first page says, I went outside. The pattern I'm going to use in my book is I went. So each page I'm going to make sure it begins that way. I went outside. The first thing I'm doing is adding the words, and then I'll go back at the end once I'm satisfied and add my pictures. I went outside. Can you see what's missing from it? It doesn't have an ending mark. So when I reread my work, I'm always going to make sure it has everything it needs. I went outside, period. That's one of the reasons it's important to reread our work. I went outside. I'm using very big paper so you can see it, but at home you can use whatever paper you have available. I went for a walk in my woods. I went with Rosie and Duke. I'm ready to add another page, and I'm going to keep that pattern. I went. So my next page that I'm thinking about is going to tell you that I went for a long time. It was a nice day, and I decided to go for a long time. So my next page will say, just like I began with my pattern, I, nice space, went, that's my pattern word, for, or. I've used it on another page, so now I write it a little bit quicker. I went for a, magic sphere around, drag it up, drag it down, long, ooh, aw, time, I'm. Right now it says Tim. What do I put on the end to make that a long I? Here it is, there's my E. I went for a long time. My next page is going to say what I did next. I went back home. I'm going to stick with my pattern. I went. This pattern should be getting a little bit quicker because we've written it now several times. I went back. B. A. Ho. Om. Right now it says hom. What do? Good work. Magic E. Now remember when we're writing stories how sometimes at the very end the author surprises us and changes the pattern? I'm going to do the same thing right now. So I'm going to put my book back in order and I'm going to read it to you. I went outside. I went for a walk in my woods. I went with Rosie and Duke. I went for a long time. I went back home. On each of the pages, what was my pattern? It was I went. So now I'm going to surprise my reader by making my last page a different pattern. And I'm going to say, I was tired. So I went from a pattern of I went to I was tired. I, and here's my surprise change, was. That's a snap word, tired. I, and I'm adding my ed. And on this very last page, I'm going to use an exclamation mark. Now, when you're at home working, I don't expect that you have a big chart like this paper. This paper is just so that you can see it really clearly at home. So I would reread my story, and then I would go back and add my pictures. If you don't have a big chart, you're going to use whatever tools you have available. Plain white paper might be one thing you have available. Some of you might have paper with lines. That's fantastic too. And some of you might be in a notebook. Whatever you're using, I want you to find a way when you're done to put your story together and use it as a fit book so you can reread it over and over again. All right, that was a lot to think about today, but I'm excited to hear what kind of fit books you've created. That is the end for today. Make sure you're working on your math mystery and your weekend news. I will see you tomorrow, but until then, keep a picture in your pocket and a poem in your head, and I will do the same. Goodbye for now.